All right, so here are some ACT practice questions. As you can see, I've kind of already worked these from our ACT boot camp that we had yesterday. And so I will go through and try to work some of these again today, just to kind of help you out, just to kind of give you some quick look and gestures. Okay, so we have on ground level, a vertical rod is 12 foot tall. One of the rules ACT always wants you to do, draw the figure. So this is a 12-foot rod, cast a 4-foot shadow. All right, a 4-foot shadow, that's going to make a right angle, which means I can use, a right triangle, right? The shadow is going to cast 4 foot. Same time, nearby a vertical flagpole. All right, a flagpole is going to cast a 12-foot shadow. All right, a 12 pole is going to cast a 12-foot shadow. And it wants to know how tall is the flagpole. So what's the height of this flagpole? All right, so if we know that this is a vertical rod, let's take what we know. Okay, we look outside of our school, we look outside of wherever it is that you're watching this, you know that there's a flagpole. All right, we know that a basketball goal, you go in a gym, a basketball goal is 10 feet off the ground. Are flagpoles that high? No. Okay, naturally, if this is something, a rod is 12 feet tall and it's casting a 4-foot, something that's going to cast a 12-foot is going to be, you can see 4 to 12, right? You can kind of already see that that's 3 times. So we know that the it's going to be 3 times as much, and I'll show you that math in a second. But if the rod is 12 feet and the flagpole, we know flagpoles are a lot taller than 12 feet. Can't be that one. Can't be that one. Can't be that one. So if you're guessing between 20 and 36. Flagpoles. Are flagpoles twice the height of a basketball goal? Maybe in people's yards, but not so much in front of the school. But here's how you do it mathematically. You want to set up a proportion, right? 12 is to H, right? So you set up your proportion. All right. 12, right? So you have 12 is to H as 4 is to 12. Then you're going to cross multiply, and you have 4h equals 144. Divide a 4 by both sides, and h equals 36. Again, the shadow is 3 times as much. So 3 times 12 is 36, and that is what h equals. H equals 36. Another way of doing that. All right, so earns 85, 95, 93, and 84 are on 4 tests. So 85 plus 95 plus 93 plus 80 on 4 tests that are worth 100 points. How many to earn the 5th test? Also earned for it to be a 90. Okay, so 5th test, which I don't know, so I'm going to let that be X. So that's going to be out of 5 is going to equal 90. All right. So this is just where you take your calculator, right? You take your calculator, you add these up, but how you do it mathematically, right, is go ahead and you add those up, and you get 353 plus X, right? If I add these up, I get 353. I'm going to go ahead and multiply 5 by both sides. That cancels there, giving me 450. Subtract the 353, and X equals 97. Has to be a 97. All right, Mr. Lemons, I don't know how to do that. I get stuck. Well, let's look at our stuff, okay? We've been in school now for 10, 11, 12 years, right? We know that if we want our grade to go up, this grade has to be higher than that grade if we want that grade to go up. So instantly, it can't be this one, can't be that one, and it can't be that one. So it's only 92 or 97. So if you don't know how to work these, you don't know how to work this mathematically, go ahead and just plug in the 92 for x. And if you'd have plugged in where x is 92, then the average would have been 88.25. And so there you would have known that, no, that's not 90, right? That does not equal 90. So that means it had to be 87. Okay. Number three. Number three is solidly a calculator question. Here's how you would put it in the calculator. You would say parentheses, -5, close parentheses, hit the square button, right? Move the arrow over, -1, right? And then all of this would have to be in a parentheses, then divided by, open your parentheses, x, not x, sorry about that. It's x is -5, right? So -5 plus 1, all in your calculator. Close your parentheses, hit the enter button, and it would give you that a is -6. All right, because this is 25 minus 1 divided by -5 plus 1. So this is 24 divided by -4, which is a -6. All right, number 7. Ran a 1 2/5 Monday, 2 1/3 on Tuesday. What's the total distance that ran? All right, so if you're going to put this in your calculator, here's what it would look like. You would say 1 plus parentheses 2 divided by 5, close parentheses, plus open parentheses 2 plus open parentheses 1 divided by 3, close parentheses. Hit your enter button. Hit your enter button, and you will get an answer. You will get an answer of my calculator walked off. You would get an answer of, hold on one sec. You would get an answer of 3.7333333, right? You would get an answer of 3.73 repeating. You hit the math button on your calculator, hit the math button, right? Hit the math button, go to the fraction to decimal, go to the fraction button, right? It's going to have this right here, the little symbol, say fraction. It'll turn into a fraction, and so it should say that this is 311 over 15. Sorry, my calculator walked off. I don't have it. Here's how you would do this mathematically, right? That's how you do it in the calculator. Here's how you do it mathematically. Go ahead and right before I write it down, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is 7 over 5 plus 7 over 3. 1 times 5 is 5, plus 2 is 7. That's how I got that. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. That's how I got that. All right. I'm going to multiply each one by the other denominator. That's going to give me 21 over 15 plus 35 over 15. All right, which is 56 over 15, which if I take out a 3 leaves me with 11 over 15. Right, because 15 times 3 is 45. 56 minus 45 is 11. That's how I got 11. All right. Number 5, consider the 3 statements below to be true. All insects that are attracted to honey are ants. All right. So if it's an insect and it's attracted to honey, then it's going to be an ant. Insect I, it's not an ant, which means that also means it's not going to be it's not an ant. all insects that are attracted to honey. Well, this is an insect and it's not an ant. So that means it's not going to be attracted to honey either. Insect J is attracted to honey. Well, all insects are attracted to honey or ants. That means that insect J is attracted to honey. That means insect J is actually going to be an ant, right? So which of the following statements is necessarily true? Insect I is an ant not attracted to honey. It says right here, all insects that are attracted to honey is an ant. So it has to be attracted to honey in order to be an ant. Insect I is an ant attracted to honey. Insect I is not an ant. Can't be that one either. Insect I is attracted to honey. Well, if it's an insect, it has to be attracted to honey to be an ant. Not that one either. Insect J is not attracted to honey. It clearly says insect J is attracted to honey. Insect J is an ant. That's the only one it can be. All right. 6, the value of the expression. So you have the square root of -16 over -1 minus 3. That's going to be the square root of -16 over -4, which is the square root of 4, which is just 2. Number 7, this is going to be our last one. For a community, it says $6 when bought in advance, $8 at the door. They want to raise $2,000. The theater sold 142 opening tickets in advance. What is the minimum number of tickets they need to sell for that? So they sold 142 in advance. That's going to be 6 times 142. We don't know how much they sold at the door. Okay, so that's that. And this has to be greater than or equal to 2,000. All right, so plug this into my calculator. If I plug this into my calculator, I get 852 plus 8D is greater than or equal to 2,000. All right, and so I would then subtract 182. I'd subtract that by both sides, right? And then I would have 8 is greater than or equal to 2,000 minus 852 is 1148. Divide the 8 by both sides, and D has to be greater than or equal to 143.5. Okay, greater than or equal to. Well, 143 would be less than. 144 would be greater than. All these are answers, but it's not minimum. It's not the minimum number. All right. Tune in next time. I will work out 7 more. If you got any questions, let me know. Thank you.